These are the roaring 50s, and the waves here know no equal. This is the Drake Passage.
In the Drake Passage, the swells are relentless. Every wave grows taller, an endless stretch of turbulent water driven by the storm. The Southern Ocean is a place of raw power, and the notorious Drake Passage rarely disappoints. Challenging all. Beyond the shelter of the Horn lies the open expanse of the Drake, a passage famed for its turbulent seas and isolating fog. Here, there is no shelter, no safe harbor, only the dark sea and the relentless fury of the wind and waves. The swell builds relentlessly, a living machine of water and wind, culminating in the chaotic fury of the Drake Passage. The ocean corridor between Cape Horn and Antarctica is enormous and exposed, with waves moving in several directions beneath the heavy clouds. The sea becomes a doorway into the deeper story of Cape Horn. Ahead lies the violent Drake Passage, ruled by southern winds and hidden currents. The tiny research vessel provides a stark reminder of humanity's place in this immense wilderness. The Drake Passage, leaving the faint shadow of Cape Horn behind, we enter the unforgiving waters of the Drake Passage, where the ocean swells dominate everything. The gray waves roll endlessly here, propelled by the fierce winds of the deep south, a raw and untamed wilderness of water. From this height, the ocean reveals itself as a moving corridor, vast to human eyes, yet narrow when measured by the planet's forces. Beneath the gathering storm clouds, the ocean stirs, a vast engine waking, its power unleashed by the relentless wind. Here, in the infamous Drake Passage, the true force of the Southern Ocean is unleashed as massive swells rise and collapse with unimaginable power. The powerful swell dissipates into churning foam, only to be met by a fierce gust, scattering the spray across the relentless currents. Away from the sight of land, the waves themselves form a continuous chain, pulling us deeper into the profound blue-black heart of the ocean. As the camera glides forward, a low cloud bank rolls over the sea. The waves below move in long, parallel ridges. Below the surface turbulence of the Drake Passage lies an immense force, a hidden current, powerful and unrelenting, shaping the ocean depths. The Drake Passage. Its turbulent waves hint at a power far greater than the surface reveals. The chaotic surface yields to a powerful system. Long, dark ridges begin to form, revealing the hidden forces below the Drake Passage. From this height, the true scale of the Southern Ocean reveals itself, a relentless, rhythmic breathing machine powered by global winds. This is the Drake Passage, a violent gateway where two great oceans converge in a freezing chaos. The westerly winds assert their dominance, tearing at the surface of the frigid sea. The ocean responds with a raw, untamed power. An invisible force pulls at the water, stretching the sea itself across the infamous Drake Passage. Below the rolling waves, hidden currents exert their force, shaping the violence seen on the surface and pulling the ocean into its depths. Here, in the unforgiving waters of the Drake Passage, the sheer scale of the Southern Ocean becomes overwhelmingly clear. This is the Drake Passage, a volatile stretch of water where the visible storm gives way to the unseen forces below. Below the mist lies the true heart of the Southern Ocean, a vast and dangerous realm where wind meets current in an eternal struggle. Beneath these waves lies a pressure few vessels can withstand. This is the Southern Ocean, and it demands respect. This is the Drake Passage, where the Atlantic and Pacific converge, creating towering waves and chaotic currents far below the surface. The sea no longer looks random. Every ridge and trough is connected to the wind, distance, and invisible currents flowing through the Drake Passage. Beneath the violent surface, a deeper engine moves, folding the dark water into itself. A powerful gust tears across the surface, transforming the ocean into streaks of silver-white motion. But this is the Drake Passage, where the sea itself rises like a dark wall, unleashing the raw energy stored within its depths as it breaks into foam. As the chaos of the impact subsides, the true scale of the Antarctic waters is revealed, stretching endlessly towards the ice. Here, where the continents end and the true ocean begins, the Drake Passage guards the gateway to the deep unknown. The Drake Passage holds secrets beneath its turbulent waves. Deep below the surface, a massive current flows. As we journey deeper into the Drake Passage, The true force of the wind and the hidden currents beneath the waves begins to reveal itself. The Drake Passage. A violent, restless sea where two oceans collide before the final approach to the ice. The Drake Passage. A place where every second changes the shape of the world. Descending into the trough reveals the true scale of the Southern Ocean's power, a chaotic gateway into forces unseen. The Drake Passage is endless and exposed. There is no island, no harbor, and no peaceful coastline to soften the ocean's violence. In the infamous Drake Passage, the wind is the undisputed master. It rips across the water, tearing spray from the waves and drudged. The Southern Ocean holds the memory of distant storms. These waves, growing heavier now, carry that immense.
The unforgiving swells of the Drake Passage offer no mercy. Here, swallowed by the immense power of the Southern.
And so the ship vanished beneath the swell. The ocean, timeless and untamed, simply closed over the space. This is the Drake Passage, a visual threshold between the world we know and the mysteries that lie beneath the ice. Legend. Behind the mist lies Cape Horn, the final sentinel of the land. Now, the violent expanse of the Drake. The Southern Ocean tolerates no weakness. Here, the waves are the true masters, and the land merely a fragile witness to their power. Here, at the edge of Cape Horn, the Southern Ocean unleashes its full fury against the Black Rock, a violent prelude to the infamous Drake Passage. For countless millennia, the cliffs of Cape Horn have endured the ocean's endless assault, a testament to the raw, untamed power of the sea. This coastline offers no refuge. It is the final stone edge before the exposed, endless ocean swallows the horizon.
As the cliffs of Cape Horn recede, the true scale of the Drake Passage begins to emerge.
As the shelter of Cape Horn recedes, the true nature of the Southern Ocean reveals itself. Here, the swells run unimpeded toward Antarctica. Beyond the cliffs of Cape Horn, the ocean asserts its dominance. The small vessel is dwarfed by the immense.
As the cliffs of Cape Horn vanished into the churning wake, the vessel pushed into a sea that grew darker, wider, and less forgiving with every passing moment.
Here, in the unforgiving Drake Passage, the ocean demonstrates its power, quickly erasing the fleeting presence of the ship's passage. We leave the shelter of Cape Horn now, entering the infamous Drake Passage. Ahead lies the raw power of the Southern Ocean, Cape Horn, the very edge of the world's navigable waters. Beyond this churning chaos lies the frozen expanse of Antarctica, and the coastline stands as a warning. Every wave impact reminds us that even the land itself is shaped by the ocean's relentless force. The coastline ends here, swallowed by the mist. Southward, the ocean stretches like an open gate into unimaginable violence. This is Cape Horn, the gateway to the vast, untamed waters of the Drake Passage. As the swell travels outward, Cape Horn recedes into the mist, and the immense power of the open ocean takes control of the narrative. Here, between the continents, the wind blows unimpeded, driving the largest waves on Earth across the notorious passage. The wave crests move in long, organized rows, driven by an unseen force. What feels wide to us is...
As the final coastline disappears, the sea becomes a complete world. A realm with no shelter, no returns.
The last sight of land recedes into the mist, and the sea becomes more than water. It is a boundary, both physical. As the waves subsided, Cape Horn vanished. We were now truly exposed to the raw power of the Drake Passage. Now, with no continent or island left to break the force of the wind, the sea grows rougher. The waves rise unchecked across the open ocean. Here, in the Drake Passage, the sea is an exposed arena. Wind, water, and distance combine into a larger, relentless force. We push farther now from Cape Horn, drawn closer to the violent heart of the Drake Passage. Here, Here, at the edge of the world, the Southern Ocean shows its true power. The small research vessel is merely a toy in the hands of the Drake Passage. The sea cares little for the machines of man. It rolls on, indifferent to our passage, reminding us that this crossing belongs to the water. The sea erases scale, direction, and certainty. The vessel is but a fleeting moment in the ocean's eternal power. As the land disappears, the sheer emptiness of the Drake Passage becomes apparent. Nothing but water, wind, and the humbling scale of the open ocean. Below the waves, the water turns to an impenetrable black. Here, in the heart of the passage, the horizon vanishes completely. The true scale of this desolate ocean world remains hidden, obscured by the endless fog and the relentless churning of the waves.
Watch closely as the waves lift in sequence. This is how energy truly moves across the vast, open ocean, uninterrupted.
As the spray clears, the immense breadth of the Drake Passage is revealed. A world swallowed by the sea. Standing here, you understand the true meaning of isolation. The sea is absolute, and we are merely guests in its domain. As the land disappears behind the mist, we turn south. Now, there is only the sea, and the realization that we are truly alone. As we move south, away from the land, the sea grows colder, rougher, and more commanding with every passing moment.
We leave the steep ridges behind as the crossing moves from geography into the raw power of the weather-driven ocean.
We leave the shelter of the continent now, entering the infamous Drake Passage. Here, the Southern Ocean winds.
Here, at the edge of the world, the Southern Ocean unleashes its full power. This is the infamous Drake Passage.
Here, at the convergence of the Atlantic and Pacific, lies the infamous Drake Passage, a place where the ocean swells run unimpeded around the globe.
With Cape Horn behind us, the wind pulls the sea into motion, a natural bridge toward the atmospheric engine ahead.
These waves, bending under the immense pressure of the wind, carry an energy that travels across the vast expanse of the open sea. With Cape Horn now gone, the sea becomes the only landscape, the only road, and the only danger between us and Antarctica. As the clouds race overhead, the immense power of the Southern Ocean winds begins to organize the sea into massive, unstoppable rows. Without land masses to slow them, the westerly winds howl across the open water, turning this passage into Earth's most violent and unpredictable marine corridor.
Now fully exposed to the Southern Ocean, the westerly winds begin their relentless assault on the Drake Passage.
This is the Drake Passage, where the Atlantic and Pacific converge in a violent clash of wind and water. As we rise, the true force of the westerly winds becomes visible. Long lines of foam sweep across the water. The relentless wind writes across the ocean's surface, etching temporary patterns into the rolling waves before they vanish into the deep blue. Here, in the unforgiving Drake Passage, the atmosphere and the ocean move as one powerful, interconnected machine. The sea carries energy from distant storms, and each wave feels like a message traveling across thousands of kilometers of Southern Ocean water. With thousands of miles of open water, the Southern Ocean builds immense power, culminating in these towering walls of water. Far from any shore, the westerly winds sweep across the open ocean, unimpeded. It is this vast...
In the Drake Passage, the atmosphere presses its rhythm directly into the water, synchronizing the sky and the sea in a powerful, relentless surge.
As the storm intensifies, a powerful gust of wind rips across the water, turning the ocean surface into a blinding sheet of silver spray and foam. The wind rips water from the crest as the massive wall of the ocean roars forward, an ancient and primal force unleashed. A force larger than any single storm pulls at the sea, revealing the deep troughs beneath the churning foam. The sea looks chaotic at first, but the wind reveals a hidden order in the direction of crests, spray, and foam lines. Here, where the water ends and the atmosphere begins, the horizon dissolves into a single gray boundary. The truth, here, the westerly winds command the sea, reminding even the sturdiest vessels of nature's dominion. The ship departs, and the relentless wind-driven spray sweeps across the surface, allowing the sea to reclaim its untouched, powerful... The Drake Passage is infamous for its massive seas. Driven by the relentless westerly winds, these waves form endless ridges of raw, moving energy.
Driven by the relentless circumpolar winds, the ocean surface is pulled eastward, a massive conveyor of energy linking these waves to the icy continent beyond.
Here, the wind is not just a presence, it is the undisputed master, whipping the waves into a frenzy. Navigating the Drake Passage means facing some of the most treacherous waters on Earth, where waves emerge suddenly from the gray mist. Below the chaos of the storm layer lies the Drake Passage, where wind systems larger than continents shape the sea into these endless bands of power. Driven by winds that began far beyond this place, the swells carry that memory north, entering the unforgiving waters of the Drake Passage. As the storm intensifies, these colossal swells become mountains of water, revealing the true depth and fury of the Southern Ocean. The Drake Passage is known for its treacherous waters. Here, multiple wave directions collide, creating an unstable, churning sea. Here in the Southern Ocean, the sea appears violent. But every motion is connected to the wind, distance, and immense pressure.
The ocean is a vast, complex system, driven by the atmosphere above it. Wind energy transfers to the water, powering the massive currents we see.
As the gale intensifies, the crests are peeled away, strips of water racing across the surface like smoke. Here, at the Drake Passage, the powerful westerly winds sweep across the open marine corridor, driving the waves relentlessly eastward. With no land to block the storm, the wind imparts its energy directly into the sea. The waves grow longer and steeper, organizing in south of Cape Horn. The infamous roaring 40s and furious 50s unleash their full force across the unbroken expanse of the Southern Ocean. Here, in the notorious Drake Passage, the ocean moves not as individual waves, but as a single, enormous surface under the command of the wind. The ocean moves under atmospheric command. Following the foam scars twisting over dark water, subtle spiral motions reveal.
The sea below answers with ripples, swells, spray, and troughs, turning the Drake Passage into a visible conversation between air and water.
Observe how quickly a strong gust can reshape the open water, turning dark, rolling ridges into a chaotic expanse of bright foam. The wind's immense power literally shaves the tops from the waves, transforming the ocean surface into a violent spray. The ocean carries the memory of wind across its surface, each swell recording pressure, distance, storm history, and the wind's memory is etched into the very fabric of the sea. Here, in the immense Southern Ocean, westerly winds, the transparent currents, invisible to the naked eye, are the silent architects of the waves beneath the storm's fury.
Here, in the infamous Drake Passage, atmospheric forces collide. This swirling vortex of pressure presses down, transforming the sea into a cauldron of violent waves.
Driven by the relentless wind, the surface waters begin their eastward march, fueling the great current below. In this stormy corridor, the ocean reveals its true, untamed energy, constantly reshaped by the relentless westerly winds. Here, in the Drake Passage, the wind-shaped waves begin to synchronize, revealing the immense power of a deeper planetary circulation. Driven by the relentless wind, the sea exerts its raw power. We push onward toward the pale, ethereal glow of the...
Driven by the relentless westerly winds, the Antarctic storm gathers strength, turning the ocean surface into a chaotic landscape of rising waves and sideways spray.
While the wind tears at the surface, deep beneath the churning waves, a far larger, ancient power begins to rise. Below the storm-tossed waves lies a world unseen, where the ocean's deepest secrets flow in powerful, hidden currents. Here, at the surface, the storm rages, but beneath the churning foam, an ancient power stirs, waiting to be revealed. The camera plunges into the crushing darkness, where these colossal structures have stood undisturbed for millennia. Stabilized beneath the churning surface, the deep water of the Drake Passage moves with a slower, more powerful rhythm, far from the sun's reach. The Drake Passage Sea is not only waves, but a layered ocean system moving beneath the storm. Beneath the Drake Passage, the greatest ocean current on Earth begins its endless journey around the pole. The ocean. A river without banks, wide and powerful, flowing silently beneath the violent surface.
Here in the Drake Passage, the wind whips the surface layers into a turbulent frenzy, while far deeper, the massive currents move steadily onward.
The Drake Passage, a place where the vast Southern Ocean is sculpted by unseen forces, creating rivers within the sea itself. From this depth, we see the raw power of the Drake Passage. The wind-driven waves connect directly to the massive Antarctic circumpolar current flowing beneath.
Here in the Drake Passage, different current layers slide past one another, carrying an immense, hidden force through the ocean depths.
The Antarctic circumpolar current is not a single smooth line, but a living field of motion, creating massive underwater eddies that shape the global climate.
The Drake Passage reveals the ocean's hidden architecture. As the eddy stretches, the water organizes itself into powerful moving zones.
While the surface rages in chaos, down here, the deep, continuous circulation moves with undisturbed power. Stretching across the Drake Passage, these immense current ribbons are the ocean's invisible highways, moving heat, salt, and nutrients on a planetary scale. Here, in the violent waters of the Drake Passage, invisible highways carry the foundation of marine life. Following the current deeper, the light begins to fade. Below the surface storm, the Antarctic circumpolar current reveals itself as a vast...
Here, in the tumultuous waters of the Drake Passage, the ocean is a single vertical world. From the deepest currents to the wind-whipped surface, everything moves together.
The Drake Passage connects the Atlantic and Pacific, funneling an unimaginable volume of water, creating the most powerful current on Earth. Squeezing between South America and Antarctica, the Drake Passage acts as a narrow gate, funneling the immense power of the planetary current.
As the current accelerates through this narrow passage, the water particles stream faster, compressed by the geography, yet the visible space remains vast.
But as the current accelerates, following the deep shadowed slope far below, the immense pressure begins to bend the flow, disturbing the smooth ocean layers.
In the open water column, the true scale of the Antarctic circumpolar current is revealed. Layers of cold water move past each other.
As the camera moves through this seafront, we see how the current acts as a soft, invisible wall, connecting and separating ocean worlds.
Here, in the tumultuous Drake Passage, the wind-driven waves on the surface are inextricably linked to the deep powers.
The camera descends deeper now, revealing the hidden circulation of the ocean. These vast currents move relentlessly from west to east.
Here, in the depths of the Drake Passage, layers of water slide past one another, carrying an immense, unseen force.
Changes. What begins as a localized eddy soon stretches into a powerful current front. Here, in the Drake Passage, the sea organizes and the ocean reveals two distinct realities. Above, chaos reigns in the storm-tossed waves. But
these immense current ribbons pass through the Drake Passage like invisible highways, moving water, heat, salt, and nutrients across the Southern Ocean. Flowing through the Drake Passage, these invisible highways carry the very foundation of marine life across the violent sea.
As we descend deeper, the surface storm fades, revealing the true power of the Antarctic circumpolar current. A vast, silent force moving through the...
Here in the Drake Passage, the ocean is a vertical world. From the deep currents to the surface winds, everything moves together. Every second, a volume of water riven by the Drake Passage dwarfs all the rivers on Earth combined, a silent, powerful force shaping the globe. An immense volume of water is squeezed through this narrow gate, a planetary current accelerating through the Drake Passage with unimaginable force.
This is the planetary current gate, a massive convergence of water. Plunging beneath the waves, the current accelerates through the passage, compressed by the geography of the deep. Driven by forces unseen, the current accelerates, bending as it encounters the abyssal slope far below, disturbing the tranquil layers of the deep ocean.
Here, the powerful flow of the sea curves and folds, influenced by the shadowed architecture of the ocean floor, revealing the next chapter of this deep journey.
The Antarctic circumpolar current feels endless. It is constantly carrying the planet's water around the frozen south.
The seafront acts as an invisible wall, a dynamic boundary where different worlds converge, yet remain forever distinct in the vast ocean currents.
Within the turbulent waters of the Drake Passage, powerful currents gather tiny particles, concentrating the life-supporting materials that feed this vast marine ecosystem.
Though the storm flickers violently above, casting shadows and light, the deep current below continues its calm, unstoppable persistence.
These powerful currents, stretching beyond the frame, make this passage feel like the throat of a vast global circulation system.
Even here, in the cold depths of the Drake Passage, the violent sea creates highways of current, transporting the foundation of all marine life.
Following the current into a darker zone, the ocean pressure grows heavier. The Antarctic circumpolar current is a vast, silent force beneath the surface storm. Emerging from the crushing darkness of the pressure zone, the Drake Passage reveals its vertical nature. Here, the deep currents merge with the distant pull of surface winds. Every second, an unimaginable volume of water surges through the Drake Passage, connecting the great oceans. Here, between South America and Antarctica, the Drake Passage acts as a narrow gate for the immense planetary current. Here, the planetary current accelerates, a massive river of water compressed by the geography of the seafloor. Here, the accelerating current plunges deeper,
disturbed and bent by the immense, shadowed slopes of the seafloor far below. As the current ribbons deform over the shadowed terrain, the flow curves and folds, hinting at the hidden architecture that will shape the next chapter of the deep. The Antarctic circumpolar current is a force unlike any other. It constantly carries the planet's water around shelters. The current acts as both architect and boundary, where blue cold water meets greener, nutrient-rich streams.
The relentless currents of the Drake Passage concentrate life-supporting material along the boundary, showing how even violent waters sustain these ecosystems.
Sunlight struggles to pierce the turbulent surface, but the deep ocean currents flow onward, undisturbed by the chaos above.
Deeper now, into the Drake Passage. This vast underwater current acts as the throat of a global circulation system.
As the deep currents wrap around Antarctica, they accelerate, squeezing through the Drake Passage and continuing their journey northward, driving the planet's climate. As the visualization fades, we enter the Drake Passage, where the Antarctic current flows unimpeded.
The deeper we descend beneath the Drake Passage, the heavier the pressure, yet the Antarctic circumpolar current surges onward.
The deep ocean currents, vast and powerful, begin to shift. They twist around unseen terrain, foreshadowing the hidden ridges and basins far below. The deep ocean is never still. Here, the currents bend and twist, forming powerful vortices that shape the underwater landscape.
The sea appears simultaneously chaotic and organized as the eddies stretch and break apart. Eventually, the steady eastward.
As we ascend, the true complexity of the Drake Passage reveals itself. Beneath the raging storm, the deeper currents flow.
Here, between the surface turbulence and the deeper currents, lies the true nature of the Drake Passage, a powerful gateway in the world ocean.
Here, the ocean is a moving archive, a vast repository of temperature, salt, carbon and energy flowing around the Antarctic continent.
Here, in the depths of the Drake Passage, the strongest forces move silently, an immense current carrying particles through the dark water.
While the storm rages on the surface far above, the Antarctic circumpolar current holds its steady, immense path through the dark ocean depths.
Below the waves, the silent power of the depths. The immense currents of the Drake Passage begin to reveal the contours of the hidden seafloor far below.
Even here, in the crushing dark of the deep ocean, hidden mountains rise, steering the powerful flow of planetary water.
The ocean floor is far from empty. It is architectural, a realm of hidden walls beneath the violent surface. As the circulation tightens into faster streams, the focus shifts to the shape of the seafloor. Here, the true power.
The seafloor beneath Drake Passage is not passive, but actively reshapes the current. The ocean flow compresses as it climbs the submerged rise, accelerating dramatically before spilling into the darker waters of the abyss beyond.
Here in the Drake Passage, the Antarctic circumpolar current surges eastward, its path visibly altered by the wind above and the submerged landscape.
As we rise from the hidden currents below, the true violence of the Drake Passage reveals itself on the surface.
The Antarctic circumpolar current, an immense river of seawater driven by powerful winds, now dives towards the abyss.
We descend into the Drake Passage. Below the stormy surface, the Antarctic circumpolar current rages. Below the stormy surface lies the true power of the Antarctic circumpolar current, a massive force hiding ancient structures beneath the waves.
The descent continues toward the hidden seafloor. In the Drake Passage, the ocean floor silently steers the flow around this dark underwater wall.
Here, in the crushing depths of the Drake Passage, the coldest water accelerates, transforming the seafloor into an alien landscape of submerged peaks. Descending into the basin, the powerful current slows, and the underwater valleys reshape the immense force of the sea into vast, rotating eddies.
Here in the Drake Passage, beneath the violent waves, the rotating basin eddy begins to stretch. It transforms into a long blue
mix. As we descend deeper, the true architecture of the abyss is revealed. Invisible walls carved into the seabed funnel the powerful.
The camera glides into the narrow channel, and the current accelerates, a planetary river forced through hidden gates deep within the Drake Passage. The camera watches as current ribbons bend sharply around this deep fracture zone. The seafloor proves that the chaos above has structure far below the surface. In the Drake Passage, the sea reveals itself as a deep mechanical system, where water, stone, pressure, and rotation work in powerful unison.
As we ascend from the depths of the Drake Passage, the distinct boundaries between water masses become visible. driven by unseen forces.
As the currents bend over the seafloor ridge, the resulting turbulence creates a gathering point. Along this front, tiny particles and nascent marine
Carried by the current through the Drake Passage, this cloud of life transforms hidden turbulence into a quiet foundation for everything that follows.
As we ascend, the currents intensify, revealing how motion gathers life in these invisible corridors of the sea.
The Drake Passage current dictates all movement here. These resilient cold-water fish yield to its relentless power, moving swiftly as one with the flow.
The Drake Passage. Though the surface rages violently above, here in the depths, the powerful current carries food. Above the churning chaos of the waves, the albatross rides the gale, connecting the turbulent sea to the stormy sky. Here, in the roaring 40s, the albatross rides the breath of the storm, its wings locked against the violence of the great Southern Ocean. For the albatross, the sea is both danger and pathway, a turbulent world where survival is shaped by the wind's relentless force. Soaring over the immense swells of the Drake Passage, the albatross reads the air currents, an invisible road above the churning ocean. Relying entirely on the wind, the albatross banks sharply. The ocean surface below traces its path in white foam, a testament to its Here, amidst the endless swells of the Drake Passage, survival depends on motion, not resistance.
The albatross dips low, braving the spray of the cresting wave. For a moment, it is lost to the mist, only to emerge stronger than before.
The Drake Passage shows no mercy, yet the albatross moves with an effortless grace perfectly adapted to this violent world. But the calm flight is merely a prelude. Ahead, the ocean's true power stirs, drawing life from the depths. The currents here connect the hunters above to the microscopic life beneath the waves, a vital food pathway.
The sea current quietly carries the base of the food web beneath the surface, a stream of life sustaining the inhabitants of this cold, blue expanse.
The strong currents bend over the distant seafloor ridge, pulling particles into long glowing trails, illustrating the profound.
The sea behaves like wind over mountains, but here the mountains are hidden beneath the Drake Passage water. What begins as unseen turbulence far below culminates here, in the violent chaos of the surface storm. This is the Drake Passage, a place of immense power. The cold currents dominate, but deep beneath the swells, life persists. In the unforgiving waters of the Drake Passage, even the largest leviathan is quickly swallowed by the storm. As the whale disappears into the depths, the surface turbulence slowly yields to the relentless forces of wind and current. The Drake Passage is violent, yet undeniably alive, a testament to the raw power of the Southern Ocean. Where the currents collide, a hidden bounty is brought to the surface. These upwellings drive the ocean's most vibrant ecosystems. Beneath the storm front, the Drake Passage current begins its powerful flow. Stirring the sediment along the seafloor, it carries a plume.
Deep within the blue abyss, powerful currents stir the seabed. This turbulence, seemingly chaotic, unlocks a cascade of biological.
In the Drake Passage, powerful currents churn the depths, carrying nutrients from the seafloor to the surface, fueling a vast biological opportunity.
Beneath the waves, immense forces are unleashed. These deep currents carry vital energy upward, towards the turbulent surface.
Above the heavy swell, the camera emerges into the cold wind. Here, the albatross reads the invisible shape. In the heart of the Southern Ocean, the albatross harnesses the storm's energy, transforming this battlefield into a living environment, the Drake Passage. A place where life survives not by conquering the ocean, but by moving with its immense forces. The same powerful forces that shape the life within these waters will soon carry the immense icebergs of Antarctica north, altering everything in their path. Here, in the tumultuous waters of the Drake Passage, the powerful currents signal a dramatic shift towards the icy frontiers of the south.
Types. But through the churning mist and violent swells, something emerges on the horizon, a shape unlike water or cloud. Signals.
As the great ice sheets meet the warming ocean, they release ancient bubbles of air, trapped for millennia.
The camera follows the faint freshwater ribbons as they mix into the darker seawater. Here, the ocean layers bend. From the silent depths, we rise through the mixing waters to witness the ocean's raw power as it sculpts the ancient ice. The Drake Passage, a crucible of storms, now carries these fragments of Antarctica out into the wider world, a journey fueled by the powerful Southern Ocean currents. Driven by the relentless power of the waves, these fragments begin their journey, evidence of the ocean's transformative force on the ancient ice. Here, at the edge of the world, massive icebergs begin their long, arduous journey north, battling the ferocious power of the Southern Ocean. Here, the raw power of the polar sea is unleashed, a dramatic display of nature's relentless force against the ancient ice. Turning seaward, the icebergs recede into the mist. This is where the frozen realm meets the turbulent, living waters. In the relentless churn of the Southern Ocean, even the most colossal ice formations are fleeting. The water is eternal.
Beyond the frozen gateway lies the Weddell Sea, an unbroken expanse, stretching toward the Antarctic Peninsula.
Here, in the Drake Passage, the relentless Antarctic circumpolar current pulls the ice fragments eastward, a hidden force beneath the waves. Here, beneath the surface, the sea moves both ice and water through the same planetary pathway. Here, the ancient ice surrenders its form. The cold freshwater descends, a memory merging with the deep, shaping the currents of tomorrow.
This is where temperature, salt, and ice converge. A visible climate space formed by the meeting of distinct ocean currents and freshwater plumes.
Driven by powerful winds, the Antarctic circumpolar current relentlessly circles the frozen continent, accelerating as it is forced through the gauntlet of the Drake Passage.
The abstract visualizations give way to the raw power of the ocean. Here, where warm and cold waters collide.
The storm rages, yet life persists even here. And amidst the chaos, this small buoy measures the ocean's violent power. Monitoring the relentless movement of the Drake Passage, this silent sentinel measures the vital statistics: temperature, salinity, current, and pressure.
While the surface rages, the true symphony of the deep remains hidden. Here, science listens passively to the ocean's uncontrolled voice
as the instrument recedes, the true observatory reveals itself. The Drake Passage carries secrets through its layers. The data reveals a stark reality. Deep currents are accelerating, linking the silent depths to the increasing violence of the sea.
Here, beneath the waves, we witness the raw power of the Drake Passage, a crucible where atmosphere, ocean, and ice collide.
As the atmosphere meets the ocean and the ice, the relentless waves continue to carve its base, slowly reshaping this fragment of the frozen continent.
A powerful yet subtle shift. The meltwater drips from the ancient blue ice, joining the vast global circulation. As the wind strengthens, the sea becomes a violent force. Waves crash against the ice, a stark reminder of the raw.
From this sweeping view, the immense power of the ocean currents becomes clear, relentlessly moving ice, heat, and vital elements through the Drake Passage.
Every visible wave belongs to a larger circulation pattern, moving far beyond the Drake Passage.
Down here, beneath the churn of the surface, the ocean currents move silently, carrying with them the clearest signals of our changing climate. The Drake Passage, where the immense physical power of the ocean converges with life, signaling profound planetary change. Rising from the depths, we witness the relentless power of the current. The ocean carries this fragment of ancient ice. Even the ice, once part of a towering glacier, now drifts aimlessly in the vast, cold expanse. The albatross navigates the Drake Passage, a crucible where wind, ice, and sea converge in this untamed ocean.
This is the Drake Passage, a place where the immense power of the ocean dwarfs even the largest mountains of ice, reminding us of nature's overwhelming scale.
As the storm finally relents, the ocean begins its slow, rhythmic breathing once more. Here, in the Drake Passage, the Earth's motion is laid bare. The storm may soften, but the camera descends toward the restless sea. Here, the ocean remains ancient and unfinished, a corridor for the relentless currents of wind. The journey south reveals the immense power of the Antarctic, a vast reservoir of ice and cold water influencing every ocean on Earth. Turning north from the Antarctic glow, we enter the Drake Passage, a place defined by the immense scale of the pure ocean and the raw power of the wind. The journey north reveals the true scale of the oceanic realm, where every force, from the deep currents to the high winds, the Southern Ocean is a place of raw power, beautiful in its terror, indifferent to those who cross its path. Here, the waves roll endlessly into the mist, carrying the memory of the wind, the hidden currents, and the cold breath of Antarctica.
Here, in the dark sea, the last iceberg drifts slowly. The memory of Antarctica carried on it.
This is the Drake Passage, a place where the true power of the ocean is felt. No map between Cape Horn and the frozen continent, the Drake Passage reveals its true power, an untamable force where sky and sea merge. The Drake Passage, a fitting end to our journey, reminding us that this world remains wild, powerful, and utterly beyond our control.
From above, the Pacific Ocean looks peaceful, endless, and almost motionless.
But beneath this beautiful ocean surface, the planet is not still. The ocean hides a world of pressure, heat, stone, and movement.
What seems like silence is only the surface of a much larger story. We now descend into the Pacific Ocean, where the hidden power begins. Above us, the ocean is bright. Below us, the earth begins to reveal itself. The deeper we go, the more the ocean changes from beauty into mystery. The Pacific Ocean is not only a body of water, it is a cover over a moving world. Below this ocean, entire plates of rock move slowly through time. They move too slowly for the eye to see, yet strongly enough to shape the planet. This ocean floor is not an empty place. It is a map written in stone. Every crack beneath the ocean tells us that Earth's crust is under pressure. Here, beneath the Pacific Ocean, pressure builds where no sunlight reaches. The surface above may be calm, but this hidden ocean floor is constantly changing. If the ocean water vanished, the Pacific would not look smooth at all. It would reveal mountains, trenches, fracture zones, and scars carved into the ocean floor. Some of these ocean trenches are deeper than mountains are tall.
These are not empty holes in the ocean. They are places where Earth's crust bends downward.
At the edges of the Pacific Ocean, one plate can be forced beneath another. This slow descent is the beginning of the Ring of Fire.
The Ring of Fire is not a perfect circle of flames. It is a horseshoe of geological pressure around the Pacific Ocean. Around this ocean, tectonic plates meet, collide, slide, sink, and fracture. This hidden boundary crosses the edges of continents, island arcs, and deep ocean basins. Volcanoes rise here because the ocean floor is being recycled into the planet. Some volcanoes reach the sky as islands. Others remain hidden forever beneath the ocean. The ocean hides much of Earth's volcanic power from human eyes.
Here, fire does not need the open air. It can build new rock beneath the sea. Under the Pacific Ocean, heat, water, and stone meet in darkness. The seafloor itself seems to breathe where Earth's interior reaches the ocean. These hidden vents show that the ocean floor is not dead rock. Even in darkness, the ocean can turn heat into life. The same force that creates life here can also store enormous danger. Along these boundaries, the ocean floor can become locked in place.
The plates keep trying to move, but friction can hold them together. Stress can gather beneath the ocean for decades, or even centuries. The quiet years are not proof that nothing is happening. When a locked boundary finally breaks, slow motion becomes sudden release. This is how the hidden ocean floor can become the source of a powerful earthquake. If the movement is strong and shallow beneath the ocean, the water above can be displaced. A tsunami does not begin as a wall of water. It begins when the seafloor moves. In deep ocean water, this energy may pass almost unseen. The Pacific Ocean can look peaceful while a force is already crossing it. This is the danger of the hidden ocean floor. What happens below can travel far beyond the source. The Ring of Fire connects trenches, volcanoes, earthquakes, and ocean waves into one vast system. And it is not a single doomsday switch. It is a long chain of active tectonic edges. The scale is difficult to imagine because the ocean hides almost everything. From below, the Pacific Ocean feels like a lid over a restless planet. The world above sees waves. The world below holds the engine. Now we understand why the calm ocean surface can be misleading. Beneath the Pacific Ocean, stone descends, melts, rises, locks, and waits. To understand this hidden power, we must follow the ocean floor downward into the process that drives it all.
The Ring of Fire begins not with flame, but with descent.
In the next part, we enter the subduction zone, where the ocean floor is pulled back into Earth.
Here, beneath the Pacific Ocean, the Ring of Fire begins not with flame, but with descent. At the edge of the Pacific Ocean, one massive plate is being pulled beneath another.
This process is called subduction, the slow return of the ocean floor into Earth.
Oceanic crust is colder and denser than the rock above it, so gravity helps pull it down. The movement is slow, often only a few centimeters each year, but its power is enormous.
A motion too slow to watch can still reshape the entire ocean basin.
As the ocean floor sinks, it drags sediment, water, and ancient rock downward with it.
Water trapped inside minerals begins a journey deep beneath the Pacific Ocean.
As the slab sinks, pressure rises, temperature increases, and the hidden chemistry begins to change.
The ocean floor does not simply disappear. It transforms the world around it.
Water released from the descending ocean plate lowers the melting point of surrounding rock.
This is where magma begins, not from random fire, but from pressure, water, and heat. Above the sinking slab, the deep earth starts to melt.
The magma rises because it is hotter and lighter than the rock around it. Over time, these rising paths can feed volcanoes beneath the Pacific Ocean. This is why the Ring of Fire is lined with volcanoes.
The fire begins deep below, but the ocean hides its first signs. Some magma builds new seafloor without ever touching the sky. When lava meets cold ocean water, it cools quickly and hardens into new stone. The Pacific Ocean floor is not only being destroyed at trenches, it is also being created by volcanic heat.
Subduction destroys old crust, but it also gives birth to volcanic arcs and new terrain.
This hidden engine creates seamounts, volcanic islands, and entire underwater mountain chains.
A seamount may look still, but its origin is written in the movement of plates. Where heat escapes into the ocean, the seafloor begins to breathe.
Hydrothermal vents are signs that Earth's interior is reaching into the ocean.
Minerals carried by hot water build chimneys in the darkness of the Pacific Ocean. In this hidden ocean world, heat becomes chemistry, and chemistry can become life.
Even without sunlight, the ocean can support life near the heat of the Earth. Subduction is not only a destructive force, it is also a creator of hidden ecosystems. But the same process that creates heat and life also stores danger along locked boundaries.
Where the descending ocean plate meets the plate above, friction can stop the movement. The plates continue pushing, but the boundary holds them in place.
Energy gathers slowly beneath the Pacific Ocean, hidden from the surface world. For decades or centuries, the ocean above may look completely calm.
The quiet years are part of the earthquake cycle, not proof that nothing is happening. Every locked section is a place where slow motion can become sudden release.
When the boundary finally breaks, stored energy can move the ocean floor in seconds. This is the link between subduction and the largest earthquakes on Earth. The same boundary that creates magma can also lock enough energy to shake entire regions. The subduction connects the deepest trench, the hidden magma, the volcano, and the earthquake.
It is not fire first. It is motion first. The fire comes later.
And when that fire reaches the ocean floor, a new hidden volcanic world begins. Many of the Pacific Ocean's most active volcanoes never touch the sky. They erupt in darkness, under pressure, surrounded by cold seawater. This is where subduction reveals its most dramatic face beneath the ocean.
The sinking ocean plate below has awakened fire above.
The Pacific Ocean floor is being destroyed, melted, lifted, and rebuilt at the same time. Here, the hidden engine of the Ring of Fire becomes visible. Subduction explains why the Pacific Ocean holds trenches, volcanoes, earthquakes, and tsunami danger in one system. Now that we have followed the ocean floor downward, we can follow the fire upward.
In the next part, we enter the world of submarine volcanoes, where fire does not need the sky.
Beneath the Pacific Ocean, the planet is not only sinking, it is beginning to burn. Beneath the Pacific Ocean, fire does not need the sky to begin. Here, the Ring of Fire reveals itself in darkness, pressure, and silence.
Most people imagine volcanoes reaching into the air, but many are hidden beneath the ocean.
This volcano has no ash cloud, no mountain skyline, and no watching crowd.
Its power is hidden below the sea, where sunlight never reaches. Under pressure, even a quiet ocean floor can become a volcanic landscape. Magma rises through fractures, searching for a path into the ocean.
When lava enters the Pacific Ocean, fire and water meet in an instant.
The ocean cools the lava quickly, turning molten fire into new stone. These rounded forms are pillow lava, one of the signatures of underwater eruption.
The ocean floor is being built one cooled layer at a time. A submarine volcano is not only a place of destruction, it is a factory of new terrain. Every slope records older eruptions beneath the ocean, layered in darkness over time. Some eruptions build slowly, while others reshape the ocean floor in sudden bursts. Not every eruption is glowing lava. Sometimes the ocean floor exhales heat through mineral smoke. With
hydrothermal vents form where seawater enters cracks, heats below, and rises again, loaded with minerals.
In the deep ocean, minerals can build towers where heat escapes from the earth. These chimneys are monuments to the hidden connection between the ocean and Earth's interior. The seafloor seems to breathe, exhaling heat from a world far below. Around these vents, the ocean becomes a place of chemistry instead of sunlight. Even here, in darkness, life finds a way to gather around heat.
These organisms do not depend on sunlight. They depend on chemical energy rising from the ocean floor.
Microbes turn minerals into energy, and that energy supports an entire community. The same heat that can destroy also creates a place where life can survive. This is the great contrast of the ring of fire beneath the ocean. It buries old crust, builds new ground, and changes the shape of the seafloor. A volcano beneath the ocean can grow silently for centuries.
Layer by layer, eruption by eruption, it becomes part of the underwater landscape.
Underwater volcanoes are difficult to see, but their signs are written in heat, bubbles, and stone.
An eruption beneath the ocean may leave only chemical changes, floating pumice, and evidence on the seabed.
But the ocean hides the drama, but it cannot erase the record.
After the heat passes, the ocean floor keeps the memory of eruption. New rock is born hot, then sealed quickly by the cold Pacific Ocean.
Here, time is layered across the ocean floor.
Submarine volcanoes can build, collapse, fracture, and rebuild beneath the waves. Even underwater, volcanic slopes are shaped by instability and pressure. Gas, heat, and pressure rise through cracks long after an eruption begins to fade. The volcano becomes a living machine of rock, water, heat, and chemistry. This hidden world proves that destruction and creation are not separate beneath the ocean. Life gathers at the edge of heat, where the deep ocean should seem impossible. Above the vents, the Pacific Ocean remains cold and silent, hiding everything below.
From the surface, none of this fire can be seen.
The ocean hides not just one eruption, but a long history of volcanic change. Across the Pacific Ocean, countless volcanic worlds rise from the seafloor. Some will never become islands, but they still shape the ocean around them. Minerals from these vents paint the ocean floor with traces of Earth's interior. Old vents die, new vents open, and the volcanic system keeps changing. But even in the deep ocean, nothing here is truly frozen in time. The same heat that feeds the vents also reminds us that pressure is still rising below.
A submarine volcano is connected to forces much larger than the vent itself.
Behind the lava and vents lies the same tectonic engine that bends the ocean floor downward. The volcano is the visible breath of a hidden system beneath the Pacific Ocean. But the same boundary that creates volcanic fire can also lock dangerous energy in place. The Ring of Fire does not separate volcanoes from earthquakes. It connects them. Where the plates become stuck, the next story begins.
The hidden fire builds new worlds, but the locked boundary stores the power to shake them. In the next part, we enter the locked boundary, where a megathrust earthquake can begin. Here beneath the Pacific Ocean, the hidden fire gives way to a different kind of power. This is where the ocean floor can become locked by friction. The plates continue trying to move, but the boundary resists. The movement does not stop. It becomes stored energy.
Over decades or centuries, the upper plate can bend like a spring. The ocean above may look calm while stress gathers below.
A megathrust fault can extend for hundreds of kilometers beneath the ocean. Its scale is difficult to imagine because the ocean hides almost everything. The same system that builds volcanoes can also store earthquake energy. Nothing dramatic may happen at the surface for a long time. The quiet years are part of the earthquake, not proof that the ocean floor is still.
Stress leaves small signs before the great release.
Gas, pressure, and motion reveal that something deep below is changing. The boundary is locked, but the force behind it keeps pushing. This is the silent tension of the Pacific Ocean. Like a compressed spring, the ocean floor holds energy until the locked section can no longer resist. Then, in seconds, the locked boundary begins to fail.
The release starts in one place and races through the boundary.
A vast section of Earth's crust can move in moments. This sudden movement is the heart of a megathrust earthquake.
The shaking begins below the ocean, where no city lights can see it.
The rupture can travel across an enormous fault surface. This is why the largest earthquakes on Earth are often born at subduction zones. When the ocean floor moves vertically, the water above cannot remain still.
The earthquake changes the shape of the seabed in an instant.
The first sign of danger is not always a giant wave, but a displacement of the entire ocean column. Far above, the ocean surface may still appear peaceful, but the source has already released energy into the sea. Not every part of the boundary moves the same way.
After the main break, the ocean floor may continue adjusting.
Each adjustment reminds us that an earthquake is not a single simple moment. The surface can hide the scale of what has happened below. The earthquake leaves behind a landscape of broken rock, lifted sediment, and changed pressure.
A fault scar on the ocean floor is the visible wound of hidden energy release.
If enough seafloor moves upward or downward, the ocean itself begins to respond. This is the moment when an earthquake can become something more than shaking. The entire column of ocean water can be disturbed from seafloor to surface. A movement in darkness can send energy toward distant coastlines.
In deep water, this energy may travel almost unseen.
The rupture may last only moments, but the consequences can travel across the ocean. Subduction, friction, rupture, and displacement are linked in one hidden chain. Even after one section breaks, other parts of the ocean boundary may continue to store energy.
This is why the Ring of Fire must be understood as a long-term system, not a single event.
The Earth is not angry. It is releasing stress stored in stone. From above, the Pacific Ocean may still look unchanged.
But beneath that calm ocean surface, the seafloor has already moved.
The danger of a megathrust earthquake is not only the shaking. When the ocean floor shifts vertically, the sea above it can be lifted. This is how the hidden earthquake can become a tsunami. A tsunami begins not as a towering wave, but as the ocean being displaced. In deep water, the first movement may be almost impossible to see.
In the next part, we follow that energy as it crosses the Pacific Ocean and becomes a tsunami.
Beneath the ocean, the boundary has broken. Now the water begins to move.
Beneath the Pacific Ocean, the boundary has broken, and now the water begins to move. A tsunami begins when the ocean floor moves and displaces the water above it. But this is not a wind wave. It is the movement of the ocean from bottom to surface.
The entire ocean column is disturbed, and the energy begins to travel.
In the deep Pacific Ocean, the first sign of a tsunami may be almost invisible. The source may be hidden beneath the sea, but the energy does not stay there. A tsunami can cross enormous distances while the ocean surface still looks calm. But far from shore, the Pacific Ocean may show almost no dramatic height.
The danger is not always in what the eye can see. The wave is long, fast, and filled with energy. Across the Pacific Ocean, the energy moves over landscapes hidden far below the surface. Even underwater mountains feel only a passing motion as the energy continues outward. In deep water, the tsunami is not yet the image people fear. It is not a wall from nowhere. It is energy moving through water. Rock moved first, water followed, and now the ocean carries the message.
From above, the Pacific Ocean can still look peaceful while the force is already traveling.
This is why tsunamis are so dangerous. The ocean can hide them until they approach shallow water.
As the wave nears of shallower ocean, the story begins to change.
The ocean becomes shallower, and the long wave begins to slow.
The seafloor starts to slow the wave from below.
As the wave slows, its energy is squeezed into a smaller space.
The hidden motion begins to grow into visible force.
Near shore, the ocean floor feels the change first. The energy that was almost invisible in deep water now begins to rise. The ocean surface changes because the whole water mass is being forced upward. What was low and fast in deep water becomes higher and more dangerous near shore. A tsunami near shallow water is not just a wave. It is a moving mass of ocean.
Sometimes the first warning is a strange retreat of the sea.
When the ocean pulls away suddenly, it can be a sign that a stronger surge is coming. The ocean does not always announce danger with height. Sometimes it begins with motion.
Then the sea returns with the energy gathered across the basin.
The force is not only above the surface, it moves through the full depth of the water. This is why even a modest-looking tsunami can carry enormous power. Near shore, the Pacific Ocean can transform from calm surface into a relentless moving force.
The source may be far away, but the result can arrive with little time to react.
Below the surface, the tsunami is a current as much as a wave.
The shape of the ocean floor can focus and strengthen the moving water.
Every coastline receives the energy differently because every seafloor is shaped differently.
A tsunami is physics. Rock moves, water is displaced, and energy spreads.
The chain begins at the ocean floor and ends wherever the energy reaches shallow water. To understand a tsunami, we must connect the quiet surface to the hidden seafloor.
The ocean remembers the movement long after the first rupture has passed. One movement in darkness can send waves across thousands of kilometers of ocean. This is why the Pacific Ocean demands understanding, not panic. Fear alone does not save lives. Understanding the mechanism does. Science cannot stop the ocean floor from moving, but it can listen. Warnings begin with measurement, observation, and respect for the ocean. The more we understand the deep ocean, the better we can live with an active planet. The Pacific Ocean is dangerous because it is alive with movement, but it is also readable. After the surge, the ocean may look peaceful again. But beneath that calm blue surface, the same geological system continues to work. The tsunami is not separate from the volcano, the trench, or the earthquake. It is one chain of motion beneath the Pacific Ocean. Even after disturbance, the deep ocean continues to create life around heat. The same hidden forces that can threaten coastlines also build new worlds beneath the sea. The Ring of Fire is both warning and creation, danger and renewal.
Here, life survives not by conquering the ocean, but by moving with its relentless forces.
The same forces that sculpt these waves will soon carry the influence of Antarctica north, bringing with them the deep, cold breath of the ice. We are now entering the Drake Passage, the gateway to the frozen continent. Here, the ocean currents collide with the first signs of ice. Moving beyond the ice, the ocean reveals its power. And there, on the edge of the world, a shape unlike any cloud or wave beckons. As we push through the swirling mist of the Southern Ocean, the first signs of the Antarctic ice begin to emerge. Plunging beneath the surface reveals the true architects of this world. Immense ribbons of current flow across the seabed, moving mountains of ice unseen. Rising from the depths, the ocean reveals its true power. The living wind of the Drake Passage gives way to the silent majesty of Antarctic ice. Here, the Drake Passage reveals itself as a living system. We move now towards the story of the ice. Emerging from the mist of the violent Southern Ocean, the first giants appear. Blue and white sentinels, beginning their long voyage north. Emerging through the mist, the great glacier stands silent, a wall of frozen history, while the dark waves crash below. Against these walls of blue ice, the waves of the Southern Ocean spend their fury, a timeless battle between water and frost. Antarctica holds its secrets in the ice, a vast, frozen memory, contrasted by the restless sea. Adrift in the formidable swells of the Drake Passage, this solitary iceberg begins its final voyage, a silent messenger from the deep south. Rising from the turbulent ocean, the iceberg's visible peak suggests the immense mass hidden beneath the waterline. Below the turbulent surface, the true scale of the iceberg is revealed, a colossal structure of ancient ice extending deep into the dark ocean abyss.
Here, beneath the waves, the ancient ice begins its slow, inevitable return to the sea. Meltwater streams carry...
Here, frozen land meets the moving sea. This quiet exchange of meltwater fundamentally alters the ocean's chemistry and currents.
Rising from the depths, we witness the sheer magnitude of the iceberg. Here, wind and wave collide with millennia of compressed ice. The Drake Passage possesses a raw power unmatched anywhere on Earth, constantly reshaping the Antarctic coastline.
The ocean slowly breaks, moves, and transforms the frozen landscape, demonstrating an unstoppable force.
Wonders. Here, at the edge of the Antarctic, the Drake Passage lives up to its fearsome reputation. A place of raw power.
Between these towering monoliths, the ocean's fury is trapped, a violent contrast to the stillness of the ice. Leaving the icy embrace of the bergs, the open ocean beckons. Here, the world of ice merges with the dark,
The Drake Passage is a place of immense power. Here, The ocean's ceaseless current demonstrates that even the most ancient
Passing through the arch, the true scale of the Southern Ocean reveals itself. Dark waters and floating ice stretch toward the distant peninsula.
The dramatic currents of the Drake Passage carry these ice fragments, a visual testament to the hidden power of the Antarctic circumpolar current below.
Beneath the surface, the cold currents begin their journey, a vast planetary pathway moving ice and water in a cycle spanning the entire globe. As the meltwater trails sink and spread, the ocean absorbs the cold freshwater memory, fundamentally altering the deep currents.
Here, the ocean reveals its true complexity. Layers of temperature, salt, and melting ice converge in a dynamic, global climate space. Emerging from the depths, the visualization reveals the vast currents circling Antarctica, accelerating as they funnel through the narrow Drake Passage.
What appears as energy from space is revealed at the surface as the immense power of the ocean, where the exchange of cold water drives global circulation. The sheer power of the ocean is evident here. Yet, this small autonomous research buoy shows us that even this battered by the relentless waves of the Drake Passage, this solitary buoy continues its silent vigil, recording the vital statistics of the Southern Ocean.
Even as the storm rages above, deep beneath the waves, the true power of the ocean currents remains constant, observed by silent scientific sentinels.
Here, in the vast expanse of the Drake Passage, the ocean itself becomes an observatory without...
Rising from the depths, the ocean's true power becomes evident. The hidden currents measured below reveal a climate story unfolding violently at the surface.
The Drake Passage, a turbulent gateway where the world's oceans converge, driven by forces that shape the global climate. As the massive iceberg slowly turns, the powerful waves carve deep into its base, demonstrating the relentless force of the warming sea. Here, the ancient ice surrenders to the sea. Drop by drop, the Antarctic meltwater begins its long voyage.
As the wind strengthens, the ocean reminds us that even climate processes are wrapped in violence, motion, and the profound cold of the water.
Here, at the edge of the world in the Drake Passage, the ocean reveals itself as a vast, powerful transport system.
Look closely at the foam lines stretching eastward. They reveal a massive circulation pattern moving far beyond the confines of the Drake Passage.
Hidden beneath the waves, the deep currents silently carry the signals of a changing climate, a powerful force shaping the planet's future.
These luminous currents represent the raw, physical power of the Drake Passage, connecting surface life with the deepest reaches of the ocean. The ocean currents are relentless. They transport these fragments across the globe, even as the warming waters slowly begin to break them apart.
Cast adrift from the frozen continent, these fragments begin their final journey, surrendered to the warming currents. Life here is defined by the elements. The albatross, master of the wind, navigates the turbulent sea and the towering ice of the Drake Passage.
These waters are a reminder that some forces are far greater than any single creature.
As the storm finally recedes, the ocean reveals its true, powerful rhythm, a reminder of nature's enduring strength. In the Drake Passage, where Earth's motion becomes visible, the softening storm reveals the relentless drift of ancient ice. We descend into the ancient currents, a restless ocean, shaped by the relentless wind and the slow march of ice, a world unfinished. As the camera turns south, we see the true source of global ocean influence. Antarctica. As the last signs of the continent vanish behind us, we face the raw power of the open ocean. Pure wind, pure water, planetary scale. Here, the ancient forces of geography, wind and current converge, shaping the very face of the planet. Here, at the edge of the world, the clouds momentarily part, revealing the terrifying beauty of the Southern Ocean. Each wave carries the memory of wind, hidden current, deep seafloor, drifting ice, and the cold breath of Antarctica. As the last iceberg yields to the dark sea, the ocean continues its timeless journey, carrying the memory of Antarctica. Here, in the vastness of the Drake Passage, no map, no ship, no instrument, and no human voice can truly tame this waterway. The immense power of the Southern Ocean is revealed as storm clouds and drifting ice merge with the dark sea of the Drake Passage. As this six-part journey concludes, the Drake Passage reminds us that the ocean is still alive, still violent, and still beyond human control.
Between desert and deep ocean, the Red Sea hides a world far more alive than its surface suggests. From above, this ocean looks narrow, but below the surface, it opens into a vertical kingdom. The desert disappears, the heat fades, and the ocean begins to reveal its hidden world.
At first, the reef looks like paradise, a living ocean city filled with color, fish, and light.
But this beauty is not peaceful in a simple way. Every fish here lives close to danger.
In this ocean, coral is not only shelter, it is a maze where every path can become a trap. The Red Sea Ocean is a corridor of predators, where every layer has its own hunter.
Beyond the reef edge, the ocean changes. The blue becomes deeper, quieter, and more dangerous.
Hammerheads patrol the blue, reef sharks guard the walls, barracudas wait in the current, and silent hunters hide below. So who truly rules this narrow ocean corridor? The answer begins here, inside. To understand who rules this ocean, we must begin with the reef, the living city where every hunt starts.
For small fish, the reef is protection. But for predators, it is also a map.
Every shape has meaning here. A narrow branch can save a fish, and a narrow passage can guide it toward danger. In this ocean, fear moves faster than teeth. One shadow can change the entire reef. The reef does not simply hold life, it organizes life, forcing fish, hunters, and currents into patterns.
Even the open sand is part of the ocean's design. It looks empty, but hidden hunters may be waiting below. Power in the ocean does not always come from above. Sometimes it waits silently beneath the floor.
The Red Sea Ocean is narrow from above, but underwater it rises in layers, and each layer has its own danger.
Where the reef ends, the blue begins. And in that open ocean, a different kind of ruler moves.
This is why the question is not only which creature is strongest. The real question is, which predator controls which layer of the ocean?
Beyond the reef wall, the Red Sea Ocean opens into a deeper world, where distance itself becomes power. The hammerhead does not need to rush. Its shape alone tells every fish that the open ocean is not empty.
Its strange head is not a mystery of design. It is a living sensor built to read the ocean.
This predator connects layers, from coral walls to deeper water, from visible reef to hidden blue.
The Red Sea Ocean is not only narrow, it is vertical, and the hammerhead uses that vertical world. Down here, the reef is no longer a city of color. It becomes a memory of light above the hunter. Its presence travels ahead of its body. The fish feel the pressure before the shadow fully arrives.
The hammerhead may rule the blue edge, but the reef itself still protects those fast enough to read the warning.
In this ocean corridor, even after the shadow leaves, the behavior of the reef has already changed.
But the hammerhead does not rule the coral itself. Closer to the reef, another hunter keeps the ocean city alert. But the hammerhead does not rule the coral itself. Closer to the reef, another hunter keeps the ocean city alert. A reef shark does not need violence to command attention. Its patrol alone sends a warning through the ocean.
Here, power is rhythm. The shark follows the wall, and the fish reshape themselves around its path.
The reef gives fish places to hide, but it also gives predators routes to follow.
A single shark can turn open water into risk, and a safe path into a difficult choice.
Not every reef shark moves the same way. Some patrol the edge, while others wait inside the hidden architecture of coral.
In the Red Sea Ocean, even a resting predator changes how fish use space.
In shallower ocean light, another reef shark carries the same message. The open edge is never neutral.
These sharks do not simply hunt fish. They shape the behavior of every fish that shares the reef. Reef sharks rule the patrol line, but above the coral and inside the current, another predator waits like a silver blade.
Reef sharks rule the patrol line, but above the coral, another predator waits in perfect stillness.
Barracuda do not command the ocean by size. They command it by timing, patience, and sudden speed. In this narrow ocean corridor, stillness can be more frightening than motion. One break in the pattern, and the quiet ocean becomes a chase.
The reef saves some fish, but the open water always demands a price for hesitation.
But not every hunter in the Red Sea Ocean needs speed. Some rule by waiting inside the reef itself.
The grouper does not need the whole ocean. It only needs one cave, one ledge, and one careless fish.
Below the reef, the ocean hides another kind of power, silent, flat, and almost impossible to see. The ray does not patrol the wall or chase through the current. It reads the ocean floor like a secret map. So who truly rules this narrow ocean corridor? The answer is not one creature. The Red Sea Ocean does not begin with predators alone. It begins with the reef that makes predators possible. The Red Sea Ocean does not begin with predators alone. It begins with the reef that makes predators possible.
A reef is a city built by living animals, filled with streets, rooms, tunnels, and hidden doors.
Every narrow path can protect a fish, but every narrow path can also guide it toward danger.
In this ocean, danger often arrives first as pressure, not as teeth.
The reef creates choices, and in a predator's ocean, every choice has a cost.
Grazing fish feed in the open, but they never forget the shelter behind them.
Small fish survive by reading space, current, shadow, and distance to coral.
A school can disappear into coral in a heartbeat, leaving the ocean above it silent. The reef protects life by hiding it, releasing it, and hiding it again.
But the same shelter that protects prey can also conceal a hunter.
Predators learn these paths because the reef teaches fish where they must pass.
A gap that lasts only a second can become the most dangerous place in the ocean.
Safety is never permanent here. It is borrowed from the shape of the reef. This is why the Red Sea Ocean feels larger than it looks. It is narrow, but it is layered.
Between coral walls, even sand becomes part of the hunting system.
What looks empty from above may be crowded with hidden life below.
The reef connects the bottom, the wall, the current, and the blue water beyond.
A shallow coral garden can become a deep wall in only a few meters.
At this edge, the ocean is divided into those who hide and those who hunt.
Current turns the reef into motion, and motion reveals where fish must go.
To feed in the current, fish must risk exposure. To survive, they must measure every meter.
Not every predator is a giant. Some are smaller pressures that keep the reef alert.
In the reef city, position can matter more than speed.
A healthy reef supports many kinds of fish because it creates many kinds of opportunity.
Where there are many fish, there are many eyes,
many warnings, and many chances for a hunter.
The reef can look peaceful until every fish vanishes at once. Survival here is a rhythm of leaving, hiding, and returning.
The architecture of coral decides how the ocean moves. At the slope, the reef becomes a border between the crowded city and the unknown blue. The closer fish stay to structure, the more choices they have when danger arrives.
The blue beyond the wall is not empty space. It is another hunting ground.
This is the first lesson of the Red Sea Ocean. Predators are not separate from the reef. They are products of it.
The reef keeps fish alert, and alert fish keep the entire ocean city moving.
Every meal is a calculation. How far from shelter? How long in the open? How close to the current?
The reef is not one solid wall. It is a network of safe zones divided by danger.
Ambush does not need open space. It needs a place where prey must pass.
Even one coral tower can contain many worlds: surface, shelter, shadow, and risk.
The more complex the coral, the more complex the hunt becomes. A healthy reef creates density, and density brings both abundance and danger.
Where current touches coral, food arrives, fish gather, and predators learn to wait. Where current touches coral, food arrives, fish gather, and predators learn to wait. Above the coral is opportunity. Inside the coral is safety. Between them is the risk that shapes every fish.
The reef begins every hunt, but not every hunter stays inside it.
The reef surface holds small fish, the caves hold patience, the sand holds secrets, and the blue holds distance.
Where the wall ends, the reef stops controlling everything, and the open ocean begins to take over.
This boundary is one of the Red Sea's most powerful places, where shelter ends and true open water begins.
Beyond the reef, power belongs to animals that can read distance, depth, and current.
And when the reef wall falls away, one of the Red Sea's most iconic shadows begins to appear. The reef has shown us where every hunt begins. Now the ocean will show us what moves beyond its walls. Beyond the reef, the Red Sea Ocean belongs to distance, depth, and shadows.
The hammerhead is not a reef hunter. It is a reader of open ocean space.
Its strange shape is not weakness. It is a tool built to sense the hidden signals of the ocean.
Here, the coral city fades, and the ocean becomes a map of current, depth, and motion. The Red Sea is narrow from the sky, but underwater it falls into a vertical world. A predator that can move through depth has access to a larger world than a reef-bound hunter.
This is the hammerhead's power. Not only strength, but access to many layers of the ocean. It follows invisible roads where current carries scent, movement, and the possibility of prey.
The hammerhead does not need to enter the reef to make the reef feel watched. Small fish answer the shark with distance, shelter, and sudden silence.
This is not the rule of constant attack. This is the rule of presence.
Its body is built to search, to sense, and to move across ocean space with patience.
Farther from coral, the ocean becomes less visible, but not less alive.
Out here, the hunter belongs to the space between what can be seen and what can only be sensed.
When it returns toward the reef, the ocean reacts before the shadow reaches the wall.
The hammerhead rules the open edge, but coral still gives smaller fish a chance.
From inside the reef, the blue ocean is not empty beauty. It is exposure.
A single passing shadow can freeze a reef more completely than a sudden strike.
When the hammerhead leaves, the fish move again, but the memory of the open blue remains. When the hammerhead leaves, the fish move again, but the memory of the open blue remains. But the hammerhead does not rule the coral itself. Closer to the reef, power moves in a different rhythm. Here, the reef shark becomes the moving pressure along the coral border.
It does not need to be the largest predator to change the order of the reef.
The reef gives fish shelter, but the shark turns every open lane into a decision.
A channel is not just a passage. With a shark nearby, it becomes a test.
The reef shark reads edges, walls, current, and hesitation.
Its power is not chaos. Its power is order.
Once the patrol passes, the reef relaxes, but never completely. Some reef sharks patrol in motion. Others turn the hidden spaces of coral into quiet danger. Even resting, a predator changes the way fish approach the reef. In shallower light, another shark carries the same ancient pressure.
The blacktip moves through sunlight, but its message is the same. Open water is never neutral.
The shark does not simply search for food. It shapes the movement of everything smaller than itself.
From inside the coral, even a passing shark becomes the sky of danger.
Predators create caution, and caution shapes where fish feed, hide, and travel. This is why reef sharks matter, even when they do not strike. Walls, channels, slopes, and currents give sharks edges to follow.
The reef learns the rhythm of patrol, and every fish inside it learns to answer. Current brings information, and a shark knows how to read it.
Here, the Red Sea's narrow shape does not limit life. It compresses it. Reef sharks rule not by owning every space, but by making every space matter.
But the patrol line is not the only zone of power.
Above the coral, in the open lanes of the ocean current, another hunter waits for one perfect moment.
The hammerhead rules the blue edge. The reef shark patrols the wall. But speed is about to change the rhythm of the ocean.
Part of the Red Sea is ruled by depth, part by patrol, and now the current belongs to the silver blades.
In the current above the reef, the Red Sea ocean changes rhythm again. Barracuda do not rule by size. They rule by stillness before speed.
The ocean looks calm, but every fish beneath them is calculating distance to shelter.
For prey, the reef is safety. For barracuda, the space just outside it is opportunity. A current can become a corridor, and a corridor can become a trap.
One instant of hesitation, and still water becomes a chase.
The reef saves the quick, but the open ocean punishes the separated.
Barracuda power lives in contrast. Long patience, then one precise explosion of speed.
Where current touches coral, food gathers, fish gather, and predators learn the timing.
The current feeds the reef, but it also exposes every fish that moves too far from shelter.
In this layer of the ocean, power belongs to the animal that knows when not to move.
A school survives by becoming one body, one turn, one warning.
Barracuda do not chase chaos. They look for the one place where order breaks.
A few meters of separation can turn a bright ocean lane into danger.
Speed is not only movement, it is the ability to arrive before escape becomes possible.
After every burst, the ocean returns to stillness, but every fish remembers the cost of drifting apart.
The reef shark controls the wall, but barracuda control the open lane above it.
Their bodies are built for clean acceleration, with no wasted movement and no warning. The barracuda waits like a blade, because the ocean will bring the moment to it.
Around it, the reef moves, the fish move, the current moves, the hunter waits.
The fish know the roof of the ocean can become a strike from above.
In the Red Sea, the same current that brings food also brings risk.
Barracuda are not the only fast hunters here. The current attracts many predators built for sudden pursuit.
Trevally bring weight to speed, turning the open lane into a moving wall of pressure.
Every fast predator makes the reef more valuable to the fish that can reach it.
Here, speed has many shapes, each one reading the same current in a different way.
The open lane rewards hunters that can cross distance before prey can organize. But among these fast hunters, barracuda remain the masters of the sudden moment. The reef creates the passage, the current sets the direction, and the barracuda waits where both become one.
This is not random hunting. It is structure, timing, and reaction.
In the rule of reaction time, survival belongs to those who turn first. Speed rules the open lane, but coral still rules the final refuge.
This is why no predator controls the whole ocean. Each ruler has a boundary.
After the chase, the reef becomes more cautious, more organized, more alive to danger.
Predators shape the ocean even when they do not feed.
The map is not drawn in sand or stone. It is drawn in movement.
For the viewer, they are beautiful. For the reef fish, they are the shape of the open water's danger.
The Red Sea Ocean gives them a perfect stage. Clear water, strong current, and fish forced close to structure.
But the reef has predators that do not need open water or sudden acceleration.
Below the silver hunters, the reef holds a slower kind of power.
Here, dominance is not measured in speed, but in position.
A cave can be shelter. It can also be a mouth in the architecture of the reef.
After the speed of the current, The Red Sea Ocean now reveals the power of waiting.
The current belongs to the silver blades, but the caves belong to hunters that never need to chase.
To understand the next ruler of the Red Sea, we must leave speed behind and enter the shadows.
In the next layer, the Red Sea Ocean will show us that silence can be just as dangerous as speed.
Here, the Red Sea Ocean leaves speed behind and enters the kingdom of patience.
The grouper does not need open ocean speed. It controls one place completely.
Its greatest weapon is not only its body, it is position.
The reef builds the stage, and the grouper chooses the best place on it.
A predator does not need to strike to control the movement of fish.
This is ownership through stillness, a small kingdom ruled by waiting.
In the reef, the most dangerous distance can be the last few inches.
A ledge is not just rock. It is a boundary between visibility and surprise.
The Red Sea Reef is full of doors, but not every door leads to safety.
The grouper's world is not wide like the hammerheads, but inside this structure, its control is complete.
And in smaller cracks of the same ocean city, another hidden hunter waits.
The moray does not need a wide territory. It turns a crack in the reef into danger.
In this layer of the ocean, visibility belongs to prey, but concealment belongs to the hunter.
The reef does not only create shelter for fish, it creates invisibility for predators.
Every fish that passes this crack must decide how close is too close.
Inside the reef, the ocean becomes a maze of safe routes and forbidden openings.
Some predators dominate by making fish avoid spaces they cannot see into. The reef gives life many exits, but every exit opens into another risk. Grouper and moray share the same lesson. In the reef, structure can be stronger than speed.
But not all hidden power waits inside the coral.
Below the reef, the ocean floor hides a quieter kind of hunter.
The sand seems empty because the predator has become part of it.
The ray does not chase through open water. It reads the ocean floor.
Its body is built for the lowest layer, where pressure, scent, and movement leave quiet traces.
To larger predators, the sand may look empty. To the ray, it is full of signals.
A small movement under the sand can become a message only the bottom hunter understands.
The cave, the crack, and the sand are different worlds, but all belong to the same ocean system.
Power does not always cast a shadow overhead. Sometimes it waits beneath a thin layer of sand. The danger disappears not because it leaves, but because it becomes invisible again.
The sand is not a gap between important places. It is an entire layer of the hunt.
In this lower world, the hunt happens through contact, pressure, scent, and patience.
Each hidden predator controls a different part of the reef's lower architecture.
The grouper holds the cave, the moray holds the crack, and the ray reads the sand.
For a small fish, one journey across the reef can pass through several kingdoms of danger.
This is not chaos. It is a layered order built by coral, sand, and patience.
The Red Sea is not ruled from one throne. It is divided into many small territories. Some rulers move across great distance. Others make one small place dangerous every day.
But none of these hunters owns the whole ocean. Each rules only the layer it understands best.
Now the answer becomes clearer. The Red Sea is not a kingdom of one predator, but a system of many layers.
The hammerhead owns the blue edge, the reef shark patrols the wall, the barracuda controls the current, and the hidden hunters rule the structure below.
Above all of them, the reef itself writes the rules.
It creates shelter, ambush points, current breaks, sand borders, and the density of life that makes predators possible.
To ask who rules the Red Sea is really to ask who controls which layer.
The final answer is not hidden in one bite, one cave, or one shadow. It is hidden in the balance between them.
In the final layer, the Red Sea Ocean will reveal that dominance is not a crown. It is balance. After all these layers, the answer begins to emerge.
The Red Sea is not ruled by one creature. It is ruled in layers.
It owns the open edge, but it does not own the reef itself.
The reef shark rules the patrol line, making the coral edge a place of constant calculation.
Its power is not only what it eats, but how every fish moves when it appears.
Above the coral, the barracuda rules the moment when stillness becomes speed.
In the open lane, reaction time can become the difference between survival and disappearance.
Inside the reef, the grouper rules by patience and position.
It does not need to cross the ocean. It makes one cave dangerous every day.
The moray rules the cracks, where invisibility becomes control. On the sandy floor, the ray rules the world that many predators ignore.
It reads the floor the way a shark reads open water.
Each predator rules a place, but none of them rules the entire ocean alone.
The real structure is not a throne. It is a map of layers.
For small fish, survival means knowing which layer belongs to which hunter. Predators create caution. Caution shapes movement. Movement shapes the reef.
A reef is more than coral. It is coral plus fish, grazers, predators, current, sand, depth, and time.
When predators disappear, the ocean does not simply become peaceful. It becomes different.
A reef may still look alive, but one invisible layer of control can be missing.
A predator's presence is part of the reef's rhythm. The grouper changes how fish use the cave. The barracuda changes how fish hold together.
The ray changes how life moves across the bottom.
Each predator is a warning, a boundary, and a force in the movement of the reef.
Balance does not mean peace without danger. Balance means every role still exists.
The Red Sea is narrow, but vertically it becomes an entire world.
Its narrow shape does not limit life. It compresses life into intensity.
Coral, current, sand, caves, and depth all sit close enough for predators to share the same corridor.
A fish does not experience the ocean as scenery. It experiences the ocean as choices.
Even in calm water, the reef remembers danger.
A hammerhead may own the blue edge. A reef shark may patrol the wall. A barracuda may control the open lane.
A grouper may hold the cave. A moray may guard the crack. A ray may read the sand.
But the system belongs to all of them, and to none of them alone.
Above all predators, the reef itself rules the rules.
It builds the shelters, the hunting lanes, the current breaks, and the density of life.
Without the reef, the predators lose the structure that gives their power meaning. Without predators, the reef loses part of the pressure that keeps it dynamic.
Caution shapes movement. Movement shapes feeding. Feeding shapes coral. Coral shapes shelter.
And shelter shapes the next generation of reef life.
This is the Red Sea's real power. Not one monster, but a living network.
Dominance here is not noise. It is pressure moving quietly through every layer.
From above, this may look like one narrow sea. Beneath the surface, it is many worlds stacked together.
Every fish, every coral branch, every shadow, and every current carries part of the answer. The question was never only who is strongest. The question was who belongs to which layer.
The answer is not one king.
The Red Sea is ruled by balance, fragile, ancient, and moving quietly through every layer of the reef. A hammerhead may own the blue edge, but the blue edge is only one part of the story.
A reef shark, a barracuda, a grouper, a moray, and a ray each hold a different piece of power.
But no piece is the whole ocean.
The real ruler is the relationship between them.
In a world so narrow, steep, and alive, dominance is not a crown.
It is balance.
In northern Norway, land does not end gently. It breaks apart into fjords.
Here, the ocean is not scenery. It is the force that decides where life can remain. The coast is shaped by wind, ice, and ocean, and every edge feels exposed to the next storm. In winter, the light can fade for weeks, and the ocean turns almost black beneath the Arctic sky. Small fishing villages cling to the ocean's edge, as if one more storm could pull the world into the dark water below. These houses do not stand apart from the ocean. They survive by staying close to it, and by respecting its power.
The ocean gives fish movement, memory, and danger. It feeds the coast, then tests it without warning.
This is not the soft coastline of a warm sea. It is a place of cold currents, rough weather, and sudden life. The ocean cuts into the land through fjords, carrying salt, cold, food, and the rhythm of survival. From above, the coast looks frozen and severe. But beneath the ocean surface, nothing is still. The secret of this coast begins below the waves, where the ocean moves long before life becomes visible. Above the sea is wind and ice. Below the sea is current,
darkness, and hidden energy. In this cold ocean, life begins quietly, almost invisibly, in the movement of water and light.
The smallest life in the ocean prepares the way for fish, birds, whales, and people.
When the ocean gathers enough food, small fish arrive, and the silence begins to change.
A single fish is fragile, but in the ocean, thousands can move like one living body.
The Arctic Ocean teaches life to move together, to read pressure, shadow, current, and danger.
Above the sea, wings begin to gather. Below the sea, silver movement calls the coast awake. The birds read the ocean from above, searching for the first signs that fish have risen. Even the wind becomes part of life here, lifting wings above the restless ocean. The fjord looks silent from far away, but the ocean beneath it is beginning to concentrate life. Then, from the cold ocean, a breath appears, proof that giants have followed the fish. The ocean has sent a signal, and the largest hunters in these waters are beginning to answer. Nothing here is random. The ocean gathers prey, and every predator must arrive at the right moment.
The same fish that shine beneath the sea also lift life into the sky. Here, ocean, mountain, bird, fish, whale, and village are not separate stories. They belong to one system. Northern Norway is alive because warm and cold meet at the edge of the ocean. The sea gives, and the sea tests. It opens the coast, then closes it with storm and ice.
People do not conquer this ocean. They build beside it, waiting for weather, fish, and season to allow life forward.
A harbor here is more than shelter. It is the thin line between the village and the open ocean.
In winter, the ocean becomes a dark mirror, reflecting a sky that barely remembers the sun.
Yet even in darkness, the sea keeps moving, carrying warmth from far beyond the frozen north.
The first answer to this coast lies under the waves, where currents soften the Arctic edge.
Warm Atlantic water pushes north into a polar world, and the ocean becomes a living boundary.
Where ocean water mixes, nutrients rise. Where nutrients rise, the smallest life begins to bloom.
Plankton feeds small life. Small life feeds fish. Fish will soon call the giants back into the ocean. Plankton feeds small life. Small life feeds fish. Fish will soon call the giants back into the ocean.
Before the whales arrive, before the birds scream, the ocean gathers itself into one shining mass.
The fjord becomes a stage, and the sea prepares the first great drama of winter.
One breath appears, then another. The ocean has brought the hunters into the fjord.
Orcas arrive with intelligence, patience, and the precision required by this unforgiving ocean.
The fish tighten, the water changes, and the ocean begins to organize around the hunt.
Above and below the sea surface, every movement is connected by the ocean.
Then the larger giants rise, turning the cold ocean fjord into a place of sudden scale. In the darkest season, life does not disappear. In the ocean, it becomes concentrated. Northern Norway is not rich because it is easy. It is rich because the ocean gathers life where season and current align.
But this is only the beginning. Beyond the fjords, the sea falls into deeper and stranger worlds.
The same ocean that feeds fish and whales near the surface also opens into canyons of darkness below.
To understand this coast, we must follow the ocean from current to fish, from fish to whale, and from whale to village. This is Norway at the edge of wind, ice, and ocean nigh. And the story begins with
The story begins beneath the ocean, where a hidden current keeps this frozen coast alive.
Northern Norway should feel locked in ice, yet the ocean refuses to become still. Far to the south, Atlantic water begins a long journey north, carrying heat into a polar world.
This current does not make the Arctic warm, but it softens the edge enough for life to gather.
Above the sea, winter is severe. Below the ocean surface, hidden warmth travels through the dark. The coast survives because the ocean is not one single body of water, but many forces meeting. Where Atlantic warmth meets Arctic cold, the ocean becomes dynamic, restless, and rich. Where Atlantic warmth meets Arctic cold, the ocean becomes dynamic, restless, and rich.
When light returns after the long darkness, microscopic life begins to bloom.
A bloom this small can change everything, because the entire visible drama begins with the invisible. Plankton feeds smaller animals, and those smaller animals become the first bridge toward fish.
Small fish follow the bloom, and the cold ocean begins to concentrate energy.
In this ocean, survival often begins with gathering.
The season is short, the light is limited, and every creature must arrive when the ocean allows it. The fjord becomes more than a landscape. It becomes a corridor where the ocean gathers life.
One fish is almost invisible in the sea. Thousands can change the shape of the water.
When the school turns, the ocean flashes. When it tightens, it becomes a living mass. The ocean does not keep its secrets for long. What gathers below is soon read from above.
Birds begin to circle because the sea beneath them has changed.
They watch the water, reading ripples, flashes, and the movement of fish beneath the ocean skin.
Below the birds, the fish are no longer scattered. The ocean has begun to build a winter feast.
This movement is not random. It is timing made visible inside the ocean. Across the cold sea, scattered life begins to come together. In winter, abundance in the Arctic does not spread gently. It gathers in dense, fragile places.
This is how the ocean turns invisible energy into visible life. Plankton becomes fish, fish becomes movement, and movement begins to call the giants of the sea. A fjord can shelter life, but it can also concentrate it until every predator notices.
From above, the signs are small. A circle of birds, a change in the sea, a pulse beneath the surface.
The land remains silent, but the ocean below it is full of decisions. Air and sea are linked by fish, and every wing above the water depends on what the ocean provides.
The power of this school is not aggression. It is concentration.
A scattered fish is difficult to find. A dense school changes everything.
The ocean compresses life into a shape that birds can follow and whales can find.
The first hunters are already reading the surface, but the greatest hunters are still beyond the frame. Far across the ocean, another sign appears and looms. A breath, a ripple, a giant turning toward the feast.
The fish do not know the whole story, but the ocean around them is changing.
The current began this story. The fish made it visible.
Now the sea is ready to summon larger life.
Sometimes the entire fjord feels organized around one movement beneath the waves.
The mountains look still, but the ocean below them is preparing the first great winter spectacle.
Herring are not the largest animals in this story, but in the winter ocean they may be the most important.
A transfer of energy, carrying the bloom of the ocean into bodies large enough to feed giants. Individually, each fish is small. Together, they become a living storm beneath the sea.
This is the moment when the Arctic coast begins to wake in the coldest part of the year. The ocean has gathered its silver bloodline, and the giants have begun to arrive.
Soon, intelligence will enter the dark water, and the fjord will become a hunting theater. The entire drama of northern Norway begins with invisible changes in water.
The land may be frozen, the sky may be dark, but the ocean continues to carry energy north.
Fish feed whales, seabirds, seals, and people. The ocean connects them all.
A current alone does not create a winter spectacle. For that, the sea needs a smaller creature.
It needs herring, the silver bloodline of the Arctic winter.
And when the herring are forced upward beneath the cold ocean surface, one of the most intelligent hunting scenes in the sea is about to begin.
Now, beneath the cold ocean surface, one of the most intelligent hunting scenes in the sea begins.
In the winter fjords of Norway, the herring become the center of the season.
Orcas do not enter this ocean as random hunters. They arrive with memory, coordination, and purpose.
They begin to work around the school, reading its shape and guiding its movement.
The herring respond as one body, folding inward as pressure builds from every side.
The power of the orca is not speed alone. It is strategy.
Above the water, birds follow the signs. Below the sea, the hunt is being arranged.
The fjord becomes a single connected world, with fish, whales, birds, and mountains in one frame.
Movement, bubbles, and pressure turn the open ocean into a carefully shaped trap.
To the viewer, it may look chaotic, but inside the sea, every movement belongs to a pattern.
A tail strike breaks the order for a moment, and the silver wall shivers through the ocean.
The school tightens again, because in this ocean, scattered life is fragile. At the surface, black fins cut through the cold ocean, like signals from another intelligence.
The birds know what the ocean is hiding, and the orcas know how to bring it within reach.
The scene becomes almost architectural, a structure built from pressure, movement, and fear.
The herring form a living sphere, and the orcas hold the boundaries of the sea around it. The herring form a living sphere, and the orcas hold the boundaries of the sea around it.
The land looks silent, but the sea below it is full of decisions.
But the orcas are not the only giants drawn into the fjord.
Humpback whales bring a different kind of force, slower, larger, and immense.
Where the orca shapes the school with precision, the humpback rises with scale. At first, there is only a shadow moving upward through the ocean.
Then the surface changes, and the fjord seems to hold its breath.
For 1 second, the ocean opens, and a giant becomes visible.
Water drains away, the whale sinks again, and the surface closes over the feast. The school breaks, then gathers again, because the ocean keeps forcing life back into motion.
Orcas and humpbacks do not hunt in the same way, but both reveal the same truth. Northern Norway's winter sea is not dead. It is concentrated. The cold does not stop life. It compresses life into moments of intensity.
Under this different light, every animal must use the season before the season closes.
Breath turns white in freezing air, fins cut the dark ocean, and birds scream over the waves.
Below it all, the herring flash like a hidden silver storm.
The fjord becomes a feeding theater, and the small village beyond it becomes part of the same ocean story.
The sea that gathers whales also sustains the people who live beside it. After each surge of motion, the ocean settles, but the current keeps the story moving.
The hunt is never permanent. Abundance in the Arctic is brief, and every creature must follow it. When the moment is over, the giants move on, because the ocean never holds still.
The fjord has offered food, but beyond it, the sea continues into deeper water. Not every giant hunts near the surface, and not every ocean story remains in the light. Farther west, beyond the winter fjords, the ocean floor begins to fall away. The same coast that holds herring and orcas also stands beside an abyss. Here, the ocean is no longer only wide, it becomes deep. Below the feeding fjords, another world waits, one built from darkness, pressure, and sound.
The winter spectacle has shown how life gathers near the surface, but the next giant follows a different path.
Beyond the fjords, the seafloor drops, and another whale enters the unseen ocean.
The next chapter belongs not to the Silver School, but to the deep diver that follows darkness itself.
From the hunting fjords of winter, we now descend toward the deep ocean canyons, where sperm whales search with sound. From the hunting fjords of winter, we now descend toward the deep ocean canyons, where another giant follows darkness itself.
Farther west, the coast reveals one of its greatest secrets. Deep ocean water comes close to land.
Here, the sea does not remain shallow for long. The ocean drops beside the shore.
Beneath the waves, slopes and submarine canyons open a doorway into a deeper world.
For humans above, the horizon may look simple. For a deep diver, it is an entrance.
The sperm whale rises from this hidden depth to breathe at the surface.
This is not a hunter of the shallow herring fjord. It is a giant built for vertical journeys.
Before the dive, the whale waits and breathes, gathering oxygen for a world without light.
Its body seems almost still, but every breath prepares the descent.
Then the back arches, and the surface moment becomes a doorway. The raised tail is like a door closing between the world of air and the world of depth.
Below the surface, the whale leaves the human world almost completely.
The water turns from blue to deeper blue, then toward black.
Light fades quickly here, and pressure begins to shape every movement.
In this deep ocean, sight becomes less important than sound. The sperm whale sends clicks through the ocean and listens for echoes in the dark.
Those echoes become a way to read the unseen.
The coastline is dramatic above water, but below the sea, the drama continues downward. The seafloor falls, depth opens, and a mammal of air enters a world of pressure.
Above is the coast of villages and storms. Below is the acoustic world of the sperm whale.
Somewhere in this darkness, squid and other deep-water prey move beyond human sight.
The hunt is rarely seen, but the idea of it gives this ocean its weight.
In this layer, the sea does not reveal everything.
The sperm whale carries one of the ocean's most powerful natural sonar systems.
Each click searches the darkness, returning fragments of shape, distance, and direction.
This is not the fast silver chaos of the herring fjord. It is slower.
In northern Norway, the village and the abyss can be neighbors.
On the surface are boats, weather, birds, and light. Beneath are canyons, pressure, and sound.
The human world floats above, while the whale moves through a depth human senses cannot survive.
After the descent, the whale must return to air. The journey is vertical, from breath to darkness, and back again.
Every dive reminds us that this coast is not only horizontal, but layered.
The whale rises toward a world of wind, cliffs, islands, and winter ocean.
Then the breath returns, and the hidden world briefly touches the surface.
For a moment, the deep diver becomes visible again, and the ocean closes its secret behind it.
Vesterålen matters because it shows how close deep ocean systems can come to the human coast.
A village may stand beneath snowy peaks, while a whale searches the abyss nearby.
The shore and the deep are not separate worlds here. In places like this, they are neighbors. Life exists along the coast, but it also hangs above a layered ocean.
At the surface are breath storms and light. Below are slopes, squid, pressure, and sound.